So I imagine by now, if you watch Minecraft YouTube, you probably recognize the name The Dream SMP. If not, you're living under a rock. So I decided I'd make a series where I make houses for members of the Dream SMP. So that's what today's video is, and if you guys enjoy, subscribe. So let's see how this goes. So as soon as I spawned into the world, the biome was Badlands, and this immediately was a sign that this had to be where Dream's house was. So I began clearing the area, and when I was finished with that, I started scrolling through my inventory looking for some blocks to use. And then I thought, duh, well, I'll use lime concrete. So I got some lime concrete, and I started to look for other blocks that might match it. And I got a few blocks that I thought might go well, and I began the foundation of my house. I started placing some logs down on the ground. Each of them were 3 blocks apart. And then I realized I couldn't count and had to fix it. And then we had a square, but I didn't like the square. So I made a rectangle. After doing that, I immediately hated it and decided that I'd change it for blackstone. So I started doing that. And as I finished replacing the last few logs, I decided I should start pillaring up and building the walls. Then I went back into my inventory because I was unsatisfied with the amount of blocks I had put in my inventory, so I got more. And I decided that I wanted to start building some type of porch. I wasn't quite sure how to do this at first, but I just kind of went with it, and it turned out pretty decent, I guess. Then I finished building the walls, leaving gaps for windows, and of course a door. As I placed the last few blocks on my walls and put some stairs in for some texture, I decided that I didn't like the house being completely blackstone, so I went back and put some more logs. And then I began working on the second story of the house. To do that, I decided to start building a pillar on top of the logs 4 blocks high, and then I put some roof down to start trying to see what to do because I had no idea at this point and I was just trying anything. For the roof, I decided to use both blackstone and warped stairs and do a weird medieval looking roof where I placed a stair and then a block and then a stair and a block, and I really liked how it turned out, so I continued the roof until I was satisfied with the result. I also put some logs there because it felt weird not to, because I usually do when I build, and I put the lime concrete up there because I thought it needed lime somewhere in the build. It just had to. I also put lime in the door at the doorway because again, it was all blackstone and I felt like it needed a little bit of variety, so I put some lime concrete. After taking a quick glance at my house, I decided I hated that stair block there and removed it and placed lime concrete there instead. I then got straight back to work on my roof. And here's where I remind you that I am not a builder. I am not very good at building houses. It's just I tried to do something new and it turned out okay in the end, but it was really hard to build it in the moment because I had no idea what to do. Eventually I came up with this weird design where I made a different section of the house and I made a roof on that section and then connected it to the main roof. I don't know, it was really confusing and something I've never really done before, so it was really cool to try something new. I then took a quick glance back at my finished roof and I realized now that I needed to outline it in blackstone, but I didn't realize it then, but I fixed it in the end, so don't worry about that. I fixed it. Then I put fences around the areas of the build that were going to be balconies and put some more pillars on the other side of the house that I didn't do the roof yet. After doing that, I went back down to the first floor of the house to begin putting windows in, which I just used iron bars for, and some flooring in, which I used warped planks for. As I finished the first floor's flooring, that's a tongue twister, I decided to start work on the second floor's flooring, and I decided to use some basalt. I don't know if I said that right, but I hope I did, and as an outline to the floor, and then I also used blackstone and warped planks for the main part of the floor. When I finished with the flooring, I decided to start working on the walls. I just did the same thing for the first floor as the second floor, where I used blackstone and iron bars as windows. As soon as I finished that, I decided it was about time to start working on the second attachment's roof. This time it was a little bit easier because I actually knew what I was doing. And this one took a shorter amount of time since, again, I knew what I was doing. Then I finished off the walls and immediately started work on a staircase up to the second floor. I actually did 2 staircases that wrap around the house, each of them leading up to one of the 2 balconies we have. And then I put trapdoors as barriers so you don't fall off when you're walking up. Even though I'm not the best at interior design, I tried to do it in this house a little bit, but it was just annoying me that the floors weren't crafting tables, so I had to change that. And as soon as I changed that, everything was just so much better in the world. So after I did that, I decided to start putting some armor stands up, and obviously had to do full netherite armor. I also put some potion stands up and a blast furnace and a regular furnace with, you know, some lime shulker boxes and lime beds. I then went up to the second floor and I was unsatisfied with the space I had, so I decided I will make a balcony. And I'm not very good at making balconies. I actually am terrible. But it turned out okay, and then I went to bed in the wonderful house we had made and woke up the next morning feeling amazing because I had completed Dream's house and it looked pretty good. So here's a montage of how amazing it looked, and enjoy it. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing, it's free. And comment down below if you want to see me do this again, and if you do, tell me whose house to build. I have a good idea for Technoblade's house, so if you want to see that, let me know. And see ya in the next video or episode. Bye!